gon' save all them tapes right there. Yo. And then the reading right here is, she asked if I'm a prophet. I said absolutely. 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 And when I walk through the door, bitch, you best salute me. Best salute me. Absolutely. She asked if I'm a prophet. I said absolutely. 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 And when I walk through the door, bitch, you best salute me. Best salute me. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Bible in my right and a chopper in my other hand.
Everybody is trying to find and recreate the identity of so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans. Every few years, black people get a new identity.
America wants the black man, the Latino man, the Native American man to his blood, sweat, and tears. They work us to the damn bone.
Come and pay a visit for your last air. I'm truly up. Make a move unless we tune you up. Absolutely, man. We know you future. You ain't fooling us. With them things trying to cool it up.
This whole world was made for blacks, Latinos, and Native American Indians. And the other nations know it. And because the other nations know it, they make sure to keep us underneath them. But for the fifth angel of the Lord, come upon you, black man, Native American Indian man, Hispanic man. You understand, man? It's about to get oppressive out here. You only have I know, man. You only have I know of all the families on the earth, man. Right? You only have I know, man. So therefore, he gonna punish us for all of our iniquities, which is our sins, man. One West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under command of Jerry Hunt. We are not affiliated with any fake Israelite groups or anybody else. Today we're bringing out the truth of the Bible, that the blacks, Hispanic, and Native Indians are the true Jews that the Bible speaks of.
that's right.
He gon' spot you, then get you. You don't speak about it, it's not an issue. This one West world got a ring to it. I married the truth, put a ring to it.
She asked if I'm a prophet. I said absolutely. 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 And when I walk through the door, bitch, you best salute me. Best salute me. Absolutely. She asked if I'm a prophet. I said absolutely. 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 And when I walk through the door, bitch, you best salute me. Best salute me. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Shalom, Lord of praise. How about you? To the Ashiyam, Yahweh Shemal, the Thumba Shim, Yahweh Shad, to the Agwaki, man. This is the ISUPK, started 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under the commanding General Yohana. We come to, bring the message, man, to blacks, so-called blacks, Latinos, Native American Indians, man. You understand that we are the true Jews, the true people of this Bible. You understand? These are our records. This is our history. And this is the rightful identification if you are a so-called black, Hispanic, or Native American Indian. Tonight, man, we're going to talk about hell. What is hell? A lot of times, man, most people interpretation of hell is, some of you that may have went to church, I'm sure it may be the majority, but we always imagine hell someplace you go when you die, someplace you go, after death, under the ground, where you'll be burning forever and forever. You understand? And we know that is just really come from a Greek philosophy of Dante's Inferno, a Greek play. It was really made up, so that rich people in the church would get a tithes as a scare tactic. You understand? So, we know that hell is we're going to find out a little bit about what hell is today. Okay, we got a couple of people checking in tonight. Shalom, Yahweh Shema, Lathan Bashim Abishad, Akwaf Hadasah checking in from Norfolk. We also have Officer 50 Yabaka Shalom Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shabarakatah checking in from Norfolk as well. Shalom, Shalom. Okay, okay. Gonna get into the lesson, man. Get into the lesson tonight. Start off at Second Peter's chapter 1. Let me see. Second Peter chapter 1, verse 16. Verse 16. Second Peter chapter 1, verse 16. Okay. Second Peter's chapter 1, verse 16. For we have not followed cunningly devised fables, and that whole notion of what we think hell is, it's just a cunningly devised fable, man. It's a lie. It's made up. You understand? Just like 95% of everything goes in the Christian church. You understand? And we've been indoctrinated with this, actually believing these things. We're gonna talk a little bit about, heaven as well. We've been indoctrinated with these things, man, these cunningly devised fables, these lies, you understand? Some of us, man, from early as a child, man, and however you shape a child's mind, man, it says that was a saying told to me, man, that the earliest things learned are the hardest things to forget. You understand? And that's why even, in the truth, when you come in the truth, I understand more and more is why you gotta come, what I'm saying, as a little child. You gotta empty out everything that you think, that because so many of these cunningly devised fables was pumped into us, man, from very, very early. You understand? And because of these lies, like, life, I mean, as a child and how you're molded and shaped, by these lies, right? It make you, look at life, your whole life become a lie. You running around believing in tooth fairies and some fat white man coming down a chimney. Valentine's Day, the Cupid angels, naked white angels flying around, striking you with a damn bow, and you fall in love, get these big hearts in your eyes, looking at a woman or vice versa. The damn Easter bunny. You understand? We done grew up, man, with all these damn cunningly devised fables, these damn lies, man, and they were, it was cunning, and the way in which it was done, So as a child, you always thinking life is about a lie or some fairy tale. You understand? You as an adult, you gonna think the same thing about life. Then you're gonna grow up and find out and get a goddamn rude awakening after you out of mama house. You know what I mean? Or some of us was out very early. You understand? Because of certain things, that might have been going on. Some of us learned the reality of life very, very early. And how harsh life can be. And the truth of the matter, man, is that hell ain't somewhere we gotta wait to go to. We born in it. All right, let's go to Matthew chapter 10, man, verse 28. We got some more brothers and sisters checking in. We got Atwaf Dabara. All right, Shalom. We salute the sister Yahweh Shema Lathan Bashim Yahweh Shai checking in from Richmond, Virginia. Okay, we got Atwaf Azara Ka. Shalom Yahweh Shema Lathan Bashim Yahweh Shai. Okay, Ribbon Property Officer 50 Yabaka. Shalom, sis. Okay, we got Trooper Yala. You understand? He checking in, you know what I'm saying? Brother been checking in faithfully, you understand? Shalom, Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shabarakatah. Okay, checking in from Richmond as well. Hot Wi-Fi the side, yep, hell on earth, right. The sister, man, knows something, man. You know what I mean? The sister knows something, All right, man. I hope everybody doing Tawab tonight. You understand? For those that may have just came in, the lesson was about are we in hell? Or exactly what is hell, and how we've been led to believe that hell was someplace you go to when you die. You understand? Okay, we're gonna go to the next scripture, man, in the book of Matthew, chapter 10, verse 28. You know what I'm saying? Chapter 10, verse 28. And the deception of it all is really, the bad thing, man, because it really does not prepare you for life. You know what I mean? Your damn parents, man, got you doing Christmas and, like I said, all Easter bunny, and you just think life a joke. You think life a joke, man, and it really sets you up. In my opinion, it has you unprepared for life and the reality of it. You know what I mean? And you got to be some damn. If you're lucky, you got to be some grown individual coming into the truth at whatever age. You know what I'm saying, to find out otherwise.
Right.
You know what I mean? Meanwhile, your ass been out there in hell. Something ain't right, and you've been using vices and just messing up in life and making mistake after mistake, going around that Marlboro bush time and time again, trying to cope with life, not understanding, the truth and the nature, you know what I'm saying? And of course we got here, from our disobedience. And there's also because a lot of our people don't know that this is our captivity, so it's really not meant to be a good time here. You're being ruled by some other nation, but once again, Christianity tell you, love everybody. So you're not necessarily looking at the oppressor as your enemy. Whole time he's setting up traps. You know what I mean? To destroy you. Not to mention, like when I spoke on last class, man, we also fighting against our own people, man. Right. The boule and same way Christ was fighting against the Pharisees and the Sadducees, he was fighting against the Roman government and the Pharisees and the Sadducees, which would today be your boule, your Christian pastors. And you see these Christian pastors, they go once again, man, they set up. I mean, they basically led, what I'm saying, to a lot of our destruction by not preparing us and waking us up and allowing us to know exactly what we're dealing with, right? And it's a direct result of the unsuccessfulness of probably about most of the nation, if not all the nation. Because even if you call yourself doing good here, you're really doing bad because you're just a damn sellout, or whatever the case may be. So no matter what you think your condition is, what I'm saying, a lot of might got a little money, whatever, but a lot of times their marriages be messed up, their kids be all jacked all up. Those be the main ones, if you notice, kids be jacked up. You know what I'm saying? They be the main ones getting divorced. This and that. Trying to take on that false identity, want to live the American dream and this and that. You understand? Which ain't nothing wrong with trying to get you some money, but we got to keep it in the right perspective. It's not the love of money, and we definitely need to know who we are with that money, because you take on and get that white man money, man, you will lose yourself. You would definitely lose yourself. And I don't give a damn what you got. If you lose yourself and you become no benefit to yourself or your own people, you begin to look down on your own people and things of that nature and take on that Christian spirit, then, I mean, you done lost anyway. You lost. You just as lost as the poor man. You understand? Okay. All right. Outlaw Fryer. Okay, Outlaw Fryer. Going ahead and salute the sister. Yahweh Shemai, the Thun by Shin Yahweh Shai, Prophet in Red, but also 1,000 Taza Kara, checking in from Chester, Virginia, as usual. Very diligent sister. You know what I'm saying? Give yourselves a hand tonight. You know what I mean? For your diligence. You know what I mean? Outwaf Tazarai in the house tonight. Also diligent. You know what I'm saying? Yahweh Shema, the Thun by Shin Yahweh Shai. Okay, also 1,000. Mataza Karaz, daughter checking in tonight. We got also Yagadar checking in, another diligent, you know what I'm saying? Out of one. Yahweh Bash, you know, Shabbat Rakatha, also 500. Yagadar from checking in from Prince George, PG County, Virginia. And Chumquayala. Okay, that's right, brother. That's right. Okay. All right. Now we can continue to press on, you know, till we see some other brothers and sisters possibly to be checking in tonight. So we was going to Matthew 10 and 28. Matthew's chapter 10, verse 28. Okay. It says, and fear not them which kill the body, right? Don't fear them which can kill just the body, you know? You know, just that physical man. You know, you don't have to be afraid of this oppressor. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to be afraid of, you know, those that are come against us, you know, that are of our own kind. You know, don't fear them, but are not able to kill the soul, right? But rather fear him which is able to destroy both soul and body in hell. Now, if hell was this place you go to when you die, you know, as the Christian church so-called tells us, right? Why is it saying, you know, destroy both the soul, the body, and hell? The body, you know what I'm saying? We in the body right now. You understand? It ain't like we died and just went somewhere and we burning in these spiritual flames, you know, forever. So you can fear him that can destroy both soul and body in hell. You understand? A lot of brothers and sisters out here right now, man, you know what I'm saying, is in hell. You know what I mean? We ourselves, even being in the truth, man, a lot of the prophets, man, hope for the day, you know, to get that salvation, to get up out this captivity because of the things that we have to go through, you know, on a daily basis here, right? So why are we being led to believe that hell is a place that we got to go to when we die? Okay, I'm gonna drop that, man. We're gonna go to Jonah 2 and 2. Jonah, the book of Jonah, chapter 2, verse 2. All right. Jonah, chapter 2, verse 2. Now, also, what I want to point out about being in this captivity and being in here, you know, like I said, we'll get into that a little bit more later. So, but what I'm gonna focus on right now, sometimes we can bring hell on ourselves. You know what I mean? We can bring hell on ourselves. A lot of times, man, you know, let's think about, man, you know, you got a lot of brothers incarcerated, a lot of us incarcerated, you know what I'm saying, on the street. And you wake up, you know, to the same thing every day. You know what I mean? A lot of our people find themselves stuck doing the same exact thing every day. You know what I mean? And a lot of it, you know, is negativity. Is a lot of it is sinful nature. You know what I mean? Because they not actually recognizing that they're in hell, right? But they don't even also realize that they're doing things to cope with being in this hell. Whether it's the drugs or, you know, sex or whatever, just to feel good. Because think about it. If you're in hell, you know, it's a painful situation. So you just want to feel good. You know what I mean? You just want to feel good. I mean, who the hell don't want to feel, you know, good? You know what I'm saying? Especially when there's a lot that's oppressing you. You know what I mean? A lot of us wake up to that alarm clock, me, myself, you know, every day. Got to go to the slave. You get off the slave, you know what I'm saying? Come home, you know what I mean, for a little while, enjoy your family briefly. You don't even got enough damn strength to enjoy, you know what I mean? And got to go to sleep, take a shower, and get ready to do the same thing all over again. We try to balance our lives at least to try to, you know, be in the truth, you know what I'm saying? Which is a blessing. So don't think it ain't, you know what I mean? We try to, add more things into our lives, you know what I'm saying, to come in here, man. And the truth actually does give you comfort. We're gonna get into, some ways and how. But this particular hell that we about to read about Jonah, man, my point is like sometimes we bring hell on ourselves. It's a hell that a lot of brothers and sisters is in because of their iniquity. And like I said, overall, we in hell anyway because of our iniquity. You know what I mean? The things that our ancestors did in the past. Some of us may have been alive in the past, and we the same people anyway.
That's right.
So that's why we here today. And we under a whole nother nation, a whole nother race of people that hate our guts, and the majority of us is not even aware of that. You understand? Okay, go to Jonah. I had chapter 2. So Jonah was supposed to do something. He was supposed to preach to the Ninevites, which were actually Israelites, in Nineveh, in the Assyrian captivity. And that's a whole big thing too, but that ain't what we're talking about tonight. So I'm gonna skip up to what is verse 17. So Jonah tried to run away, man, from what he was supposed to be doing for the Most High, right? So because of that, because of his disobedience, right, we're going to see an example of disobedience. So if you skip up on Jonah chapter 2 to Jonah chapter 1, let me see, verse 17, which is the last verse of chapter 1, it says, "Then the Most High had prepared a great fish to swallow up Jonah." And keep that in mind. It said the Most High did this, right? A lot of times Christianity also teach you what in situations like this. From what I read, you know what I mean, and this particular precept, you know what I'm saying? Well, I have some questions later, but Christianity also teaches us a lot of times the devil did it. You know what I'm saying? The devil did that. It was Satan's fault, this or that, right? Could be at times, but anything that is allowed to happen, you got to realize that it comes from the Most High. We'll also point that out in detail a little bit more later as well. Now, the Most High, it said the Most High had prepared a great fish to swallow up Jonah, right? And Jonah was in the belly of the fish 3 days and 3 nights. He was in the belly of this fish, man, for 3 days and 3 nights, right? Tough situation, right? Chapter 2, verse 1. Then Jonah prayed unto the Most High his power out of the fish's belly. But there's a lot of times, man, so the Lord had told him to do something, but he tried to run away from his calling and what it was that he was supposed to do. But when the Lord swallowed him up, you know what I mean, and put him in the belly of that fish, that's when he called out to the Most High, right? And a lot of us, man, in our time of prosperity, when we was out there in the world, we didn't have no reason to call on the Most High, because the Most High already gave Jonah a task. He could have called on him then. But he waited all the way until he got into this big storm and got swallowed up into the belly of this fish, right? Now let's see what verse 2 says. And said, I cried by reason of mine affliction unto the Most High. That's why he cried out to him, because of his affliction. A lot of us cried out to him because of our affliction. And that's why the Most High brought this affliction upon Jonah. You understand? To get him to cry out. That's why he brought the affliction on a lot of us, to get us to cry out to him, right? And he heard me. And a lot of times, man, when we in that low estate, you know what I'm saying, which is hell, right? A lot of times we're in that lower state, man. That's when we cry out, to the Most High. Out of the belly of hell, what did it say? Out of the belly of hell cried I, and thou heardest my voice. So Jonah was in the belly of hell. Why? Because of the condition that he was in. He was in the belly of a fish. You know what I'm saying? He was not in some damn flames burning. But because of the pain that he was going through, he described it as being in the belly of hell. Now, this was on earth. He didn't have to die and go nowhere. It didn't say anything about Jonah died and went here to this special place. The hell that he was experiencing was on earth. And Jonah was a man of God that had made a mistake. Okay, we got wife a 9 in the house. You know what I'm saying? Salute the sister. Yahweh Shemai Lathar by Shemai Shad, checking in from Norfolk, Virginia. All right. So, yeah, man, he was in there. He said, cried out, tells you right here, out of the belly of hell cried I. See, a lot of times in that belly of hell, man, a lot of our brothers and sisters out there crying out. A lot of us cried out. And a lot of times we crying out right now. But see, that's a good thing because why? You got your trust in the Most High. We're going to get into that also, being in this condition. You understand? Because you can either trust in yourself or you can trust in the Most High in this condition. And we'll also get into, of how sometimes, man, see, let me tell you something. You don't never know what may come your way living in this world.
Right.
And you don't never know how you're going to handle it. And you got to be prepared. You know what I mean? You preparing yourself with some of the little things that we go through. And then, a lot of times, man, and I find myself doing, we cry, but I realize, a lot of the basic things that, a lot of people cry about, not having enough money. Give me another one. Not having enough money. Okay, we got wife I'm a die in the house, man. You know what I'm saying? Salute your sister, your house, Shemala, done by Shemala Shad. Wife I'm a die, ribbon property of Officer 5000, Uriah Shemaf, checking in from Virginia Beach. All right. Shalom. Okay, so yeah, man. You know what I mean? Back to the lesson, you know what I'm saying? But the Lord heard our voice, man, in that lower state, man. You know what I mean? And there's also, even now, being in the truth, you know what I'm saying? There's a good idea, you know what I mean, for us to do, constantly. The scriptures say pray always, you know what I'm saying? You got to, I'm just trying to paint a picture, man, of where we at, you know what I mean? I'm just trying to paint a picture of where we at, man. Right? Okay, Psalms chapter 16, verse 10. Psalms chapter 16, verse 10. The book of Psalms 16 and 10. Right. Okay. Book of Psalms chapter 16. Atwaf Dabarah says enough time to get things done. Right. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, not having enough time. You know what I'm saying? And then when you is off, you got to do the things that you couldn't do while you was working. You know what I mean? And that's a form of, hell in itself. It can be very frustrating and irritating. You know what I'm saying? We got a young man, Jamia, checking in from Vibe Beach, Virginia. You know what I'm saying? Right. Officer Yabaka, the belly of the beast. Right. You know what I'm saying? The belly of the beast. That's right. And that's what it is, man. But see, they ain't gonna tell you all this in a Christian church. You know what I'm saying? Mom Dukes ain't really preparing you for, because she don't really know. But she will tell you some things like, one thing they did used to say was, you better be glad. Well, mine's anyway. You better be glad you still a child, because when you get grown, basically they was telling you all hell gonna break loose. Enjoy your time as a child where everything is being your mind is innocent. As a child, you may experience some things as a child that will affect your childhood, but your mind doesn't really see things the way it is, the way you may see things as an adult. You know what I mean? The way the world really is, the reality of things. If some of you was blessed to grow up in some halfway decent households, you know what I'm saying? With your mother, father, or at least your mother, somebody was providing for you. Now, of course, there's a big majority of us that dealt with hell with that, because you got a lot of us that grew up in orphanages and things of that nature. Or mother was getting high. Father was getting high. Out the picture. So we was born into this condition, man. You know what I mean? And I'm gonna tell you something. It's a wonder. You know what I mean? I mean, you take some kid that grew up with some mother smoking crack. Father is God knows where. You know what I mean? How in the world is this a kid like that gonna ever make it in life? I mean, that child is just doomed, man, for failure. So it's really a miracle that a lot of us was able to find the truth and was able to wake up and was able to repent. You know what I'm saying? At least give ourselves a chance, man, at life. You know what I mean? They definitely said that once you grown is on you. Right. You know what I'm saying? This brother here, you know what I'm saying, had his mother told him the same thing. You know what I mean? And they do say little things, about the hell that they went through. And they don't want you to go through the same hell. But see, the one thing I learned about hell, you can't duck it. You know what I mean? You can try to get as high as you want to. It's going to still be there. You know what I mean? You can try to get as much money as you want to. It's going to still be there. The death, the destruction, the oppression, the lack of identity. The evil all around us, to fall into, the temptation. This is something that you're going to deal with every day for the rest of your life. Okay? All right? All right. Let's continue to go on. Psalms chapter 16, verse 10. For thou wilt not leave my soul in hell. See that? For thou wilt not leave my soul in hell. I'm going to go up a couple of verses on this one. Right? Okay. All right, let's start. I'm going to go up to verse 8, right? Now, David had been on the run, man. He was a man on the run from Saul, staying in caves and all of these different types of things. You know what I mean? I mean, what you think that was? Heaven? What you think that was? I mean, sleeping in a cave. Any of you ever slept in a cave? On the run? With your life threatening and you hadn't even done anything? But this is what David did. Verse 8 of Psalms chapter 16. I have set the Most High always before me. See, that's the difference between a righteous man and a wicked man. See, a righteous man can't set nothing before him. You understand? He don't have nothing to hope in. See what I'm saying? So that's why living here, man, you find out people, man, they got the trust in the vices of Egypt. Like the scriptures say in Isaiah. They go down to Egypt. That's what they trust in, right? But us as being righteous, we all going through hell, but it's just how you go through it. And it's all about what you put in your trust in. Now, in the past, a lot of our, us have put our trust in, the American dream, by chasing money. So basically, you put your trust in money, material thing. But if you don't got it, then what? You know what I mean? A lot of us put our trust in, drugs. to cope with the different things. Put our trust in, like I mentioned before, sex, alcohol. What are some more things plaguing out? What are people trusting in out here, man? You know, nothing wrong with education, but you don't solely put your trust in the education, right? Putting our trust in the system, looking towards a nation that couldn't even help us. Putting our trust in this white man. Putting our trust in everything but the Most High. And that's one of the reasons why we're in the situation we're in today. Okay? But David is telling us what he's doing because he is at my right hand. He know the Lord is at his right. He's saying, the Lord, I know the Most High with me. The Lord is his strength. You understand? I should not be moved. And he trusted in that. That's what allowed him to keep going. The fact that he had the Most High. And he knew he had the Most High. And he felt like if he trusted in the Most High, he was keeping the laws, that he didn't have anything to worry about. Right? Verse 9. Therefore, my heart is glad. You see that? He said, therefore, because of that, his mind is glad. He's glad in his mind because he know he got the Most High. Now, see, us being righteous, we got hope, right? Being in hell. We got something to trust in. So, yeah, you may be going through whatever it is that you're going through, but the fact that you keeping the laws and keeping your trust in the Most High, let your heart be glad because of that. Because you got the power with you. He ain't gonna see you forsaken. You understand? Now, a lot of them brothers and sisters in hell in the world, they might be forsaken. I've seen today, Army vehicle, FBI truck, state police, regular police. Thought I might have seen some damn ICE agent. Grab a brother, you know what I'm saying? One brother, bring him outside. It's cold as on nowhere, no shirt on, no socks. Military style weapons, armored truck, taking his brother in. Now you tell me if that ain't a man in hell. But for them to be coming at him like that, you know what I mean? Then he may not have his trust in the Most High. See what I'm saying? And that's the difference of what can happen to you, and that's what I'm talking about too. The hell that we could bring on ourselves. A lot of brothers, they was trusting in Egypt, right? Trusting in the world. They find themselves now you incarcerated. You got a life sentence. That's a hell you brought on yourself. You know what I mean? You out there was trusting in that crack pipe, trusting in that fentanyl. That's a whole nother hell you brought on yourself. Overly trusting in the bottle. Might have been utilizing sex or anything of that nature to escape. Now you might got AIDS. I've seen that as well. All of these conditions are happening right here on earth. You know what I'm saying? Okay. And my glory rejoiceth. My flesh also shall rest in hope. He say his body, you know what I'm saying, shall rest because he got hope. And you got to know that we got hope here, right? That's why the scripture say, look at the generations of old. You know what I mean? Was there ever any that trusted in the Lord and was forsaken? That's why I tell you, go back and read about Joseph. You know what I mean? His brothers threw him. Joseph ain't do nothing wrong. His own brothers was jealous of him. Threw him off to the heathen. Joseph had been locked up. He tried to not mess with his master at the time, Egyptian master at the time, wife. She lied on him, had him locked up. Own brothers threw him in the pit. Joseph ended up becoming the second in command of Egypt. Saved the whole Egyptian empire. Moses. You know, he was in second in command of Egypt. You know, took up for his brothers. Brothers turned against him. You know what I'm saying? He shouldn't have, you know, probably unallowed it, but ended up standing in the desert. Had 2 heathen wives. You know what I mean? Most High brought him back to be the deliverer of the nation of Israel from out of Egypt. You know what I mean? Yahweh Shai himself, the things and all the persecutions he went through in here in life. That's why he says the disciple greater than the master is the servant greater than the master. You know what I mean? He put his trust in the Most High. You know what I'm saying? Was laid back, you know, on that cross. You know what I'm saying? And said, Father, why have you forsaken me? Right then and there, he gave up the ghost at that last moment. That's why the scripture say a lot of times the Lord will deliver you at your last end. Right at that point when you feel like you can't take it no more. That's when the Most High come through for you, for a righteous man. Okay. Now, let's continue on. Okay, now verse 10, right? For thou would not leave my soul in hell. You know what I mean? He knew that. He trusted in that. The Lord would not leave our soul in hell, man. You know, there are different things that we go through, but the Lord ain't going to leave us. First of all, we're going to be delivered one day. That's the eternal aspect of it. That's another reason why you're doing it, right? Because the Most High see our affliction. He know the things that we going through. He know what we going through more than we know what we going through. You understand? Don't try to know everything until it's time, but you can keep it simple for right now, and know that you know what I mean. You the Most High is going to He's with you, and He's going to help you get through the things that you go through in life. A lot of it He allows. You understand? You know, especially if you're being, you know, tested, you're being proven to see if you're going to break or not. To see if you worthy of the kingdom. See, that's what we got to hope for, the kingdom, man. Ducking that damn nuclear fire, the lake of fire. If they want to talk about a burning fire, yeah, it's going to be the lake of fire, Babylon. Ones to be saved, man, ones that can endure to the end. You know what I mean? You got to go through hell to get to heaven. And all of it is on earth. Okay? Neither wilt thou suffer thy Holy One to see corruption. Lord ain't gonna lie. David knew this. He had this in his mind. You know, so even though he was on the run, sleeping in caves, worried about if he was gonna be unalive, he still somehow had a hopeful attitude. Why? Because he knew the Lord was on his side. Okay? Psalms 86, verse 13. Yeah, we approve your day, man. You ain't got to go to dare to go to hell, man. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what the Christian church done lied to us, man. You know what I mean?
Right.
You know, Psalms 86, verse 13. For great is thy mercy toward me, and thou hast delivered my soul from the lowest hell. You hear that? Say, delivered his soul from the lowest hell, his being, who he was, him from the lowest hell. This is all taking place on earth. You know? He praising the Most High, man, because the Most High have delivered him from the lowest hell. I mean, that got to be, that's a condition. Say he was in the lowest hell. He was in the lowest condition here on earth. You understand? Let's read verse 14 too. It say, "Oh God, the proud are risen against me." The proud had risen against them, David. You understand? Saul and all his soldiers. "And the assemblies of violent men have sought after my soul." They was trying to seek him to kill him. This brother on the run. You understand? "And have not set thee before them." You know, these men hadn't set the Most High before themselves. You know, these wasn't men of God. You know what I mean? Verse 15, "But thou, O Lord, art a God full of compassion." You see that? The Lord full of compassion, man. He see the hell that we in. "And gracious, long suffering." He's very long suffering with us, man. Because he understands the things that we going through here. And the fact that you brothers and sisters continue to hold on, you know what I mean, and you haven't cracked and you haven't went back in the world, you know what I'm saying, is a hell of a thing. Believe it or not. Okay? You know, Apostle Paul said, take this affliction of, he said, take this thorn in his side away from him, right? And the Lord say, no, I ain't going to take it from you. You know what I mean? See, that thorn, he was trying to get that thorn, that thing that was bothering him here on earth. Paul was praying the Lord, let's take it from him. He got sick of going through it, but the Lord said, no, I ain't going to take it from you. But he said, my grace is sufficient for thee, because when you are weak, now you are being made strong. The Lord will give you the strength, man, to get through this hell. You know what I mean? So we don't have to depend on things in the world to get through this, right? Because we put our hope in the Lord. Might take you a drink here and there, but don't get too dependent on it. You don't gotta die to go to hell, man. All right. So that's Psalms 86. Let's go to Deuteronomy 32. Deuteronomy 32. Deuteronomy chapter 32, verse 22. Yeah, these people, man, they affecting us in a lot of different ways through our children, man. That was one of the curses. You know what I mean? But you alone to see your children. You know what I mean? But they taking our children today in a lot of different ways, man, through the system, through these evil, wicked mothers. You know what I'm saying? Through a lot of our, kids, man, going the other way. Our kids really losing in a lot of different ways. They're getting unalive. You know what I mean? A lot of us being affected through our children. A lot of us in pain because of our children. Living in this God-forsaken place. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Deuteronomy 32, verse 13. We're going to read up a little bit on this, though, because it's just give a little bit of why we also in the predicament that we in. So Deuteronomy 32, verse 15. It says, but Jeshurun waxed fat, talking about Israel. We had waxed fat, man. The Lord looked out for us, gave us what we needed, you know what I'm saying? And we was kicked back, just like we is today. You know what I mean? Some of us that's done made it. We kicked back, we done waxed fat. Thou art waxing fat, thou art grown thick, you know what I'm saying? Got back, got everything back, you know what I mean? Thou art covered with fatness. Then he forsook God, which made him, and lightly esteemed the rock of his salvation. And see, a lot of us, you know what I'm saying, have done that, man. The nation in general, some of the leaders of the nation, you know what I mean, wax fat and forgot all about the Most High, man. You know what I mean? So verse 16, they provoked him to jealousy with strange gods, right? We out here still worshiping that Caesar Borgia, the white Jesus, damn Allah. You know what I'm saying? All these different things, but we was doing it back then. The book of Exodus, they had, ran Moses go up to the mountain for 40 days, he come back, they worshiping the damn golden calf. You know, after he done took us up out of Egypt, you know, these are some of the reasons, man, why we in the predicament that we in today. With the abominations provoke they him to anger. We doing all type of abominable things, man. Look at your boy Puff Daddy, man. All the abominations he was doing. You know what I mean? They sacrificed unto devils. We sacrificing unto devils, man. You know what I mean? Not to God, but not to our God. You know what I mean? To gods whom they knew not. You know, we worshiping gods that we never knew, man. The gods that are not our gods. We won't even take hold of our own damn God. It's done got so bad, the Lord done made us forget who he even was. But through his grace and his mercy, he's waking us up back to who he is. Literally. Today. You know what I'm saying? To new gods that came newly up. These damn new gods, man. Whom your fathers feared not. You know? Our forefathers didn't fear these guys, man. Didn't worship these guys. You know what I mean? Jacob, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. They worshiped the true God, our forefathers. And we went off. The same way the Maccabees, man, Judas Maccabees and them was fighting for the Most High. Built the temple back up, fought against the Greeks. You know, straight righteous men of God. Judas went and slayed a man on the damn altar for trying to sacrifice to another God in the Lord's temple. Said Judas was burning with anger at that brother. Unalived him on the spot. But then that royal family of the Maccabees became the Pharisees and the Sadducees. Completely turned against the Most High. And we wonder why we are in the situation we in today. Right? Verse 18, of the rock that begat thee, thou art unmindful. You know, that rock that begat thee, you unmindful of it. You know what I mean? The Most High. When he brought that water up out of that rock in the desert. You know, and has forgotten God that formed thee. You forgot our God, man, that formed us. When you out there doing things, breaking these laws, man, you done completely went against your God, and he's jealous, man, and you kindling that fire. You kindling that hell that he gonna put you in. Let me see. I'm gonna skip down in a minute. All right. Okay. All right, verse 21. Skip down to verse 21. So the Lord said, they have moved me to jealousy with that which is not God, worshiping these other gods, breaking the laws, doing the things that, you know what I'm saying, we've been doing. They have provoked me to anger with their vanity, these useless things that we're doing, man. You know what I mean? These vain things, the getting high, the tricking, and the, you know, the horn around, and the strip clubs, the overly drinking, and just into Islam and Christianity, and just completely forsaking our Lord, man. You know what I mean? You know, all the sick things we getting into, man. Loving the white man, Christmas, Thanksgiving, eating shrimp, crab, and lobster, sacrificing the damn kids, the mothers, got them eating shrimp, crab, and lobster, celebrating Christmas and New Year's and Easter bunnies and all of these things, man. And we at these damn feast days, Thanksgiving, the slaughter of the Native American Indians, and thanking the Lord with this, you know what I mean? And the Lord sitting back burning with fire. Ain't no wonder why we still here. Sisters all twerking like Cardi B and damn Glorilla, Megan Thee Stallion. Oh, you see that sister shaking they butt everywhere. Women done went from being delicate, you know what I'm saying, to just being outright whore. We done fell low, man. Not only are we in a lower state, we ourselves are performing low in that lower state. We out here like beasts, man. Brute beasts. It's ridiculous. And now we'll move them to jealousy with those which are not a people, right? He done moved us to jealousies with those that are not. They're talking about this white man. He is not even a people, man. He's a heathen. He's a subhuman, you know what I'm saying, being. Like they were saying, Cap was saying, you see the white man in his purest form, you know what I mean? You see that he's a cave-like being. You ever seen that Geico commercial? That's who we being ruled by. Says, I will provoke them to anger with a foolish nation. Call this race of people foolish, man. We being ruled by some foolish people. Look at Donald Trump. He's a goddamn idiot ruling the country. These people about to blow each other up. Come on, man. How you manage to have everything and you blow each other up? You on the verge of blowing each other up. Come on, man. You know what I'm saying? Verse 22. For a fire is kindled in mine anger. You see that? That fire, man. That fire is kindled in my anger and shall burn unto the lowest hell. You see that? It's going to burn to the lowest hell and shall consume the earth. It's going to consume what? The earth. No, someplace up under the earth. Consume the earth with her increase, right? And set on fire the foundations of the mountains. You see that? You see that? You ain't got to die to go to hell, man. You're already there. Should have named the lesson Welcome to Hell. You know what I'm saying? You know? Congratulations, Israel. You know what I'm saying? That's what we managed to put ourselves, you know? Now we got a real hard way here, man. What Ecclesiasticus say? I definitely need to get that. This is the condition of the battle, though. You know what I mean? This is the way you get to the kingdom. You got to go through hell to get to heaven. Right? Let's go to Isaiah 5 and 12, man. Isaiah 5 and 12. And these good scriptures to have, you know what I mean, in your repertoire as well. You know what I mean? You know, these are great scriptures to have in your repertoire. Okay, verse 13, Isaiah 5 and 13. Therefore, my people are going into captivity. We are going into captivity. You know what I mean? You know, because we are in captivity. Because they have no knowledge, right? You know what I mean? And that's true. You know what I mean? We was in that condition because we had no knowledge. You know what I mean? Of the truth. And their honorable men are famished. Our leaders, man, they don't got the truth neither. They don't got the knowledge. You know what I mean? And their multitude dried up with thirst. As a result, man, most of us are dried up, man. Without this truth, we out there suffering, man. You know what I'm saying? Down in the streets, man. Walking around, walking dead. You know what I mean? All this and that, right? Verse 14. And because of this as well, right? Therefore, hell have enlarged herself. Say, hell have enlarged herself and opened up her mouth without measure. In their glory, right? We don't got no more glory. In their multitude, in their pomp. And he that rejoiceth shall descend into it. Right? We out there thinking everything all good. You know what I mean? Those of us thinking we ain't in here. Lord say hell have enlarged herself and you're going to descend right into it. If you keep on. You know what I mean? And those are some of them that's in the lowest state of hell out there. Right? All right. So now we Ecclesiasticus 3:16. Ecclesiastes, Salaki. Ecclesiastes 3:16, man. Anybody chime in, you know what I'm saying, with anything, you know, at any given time, you know what I mean? Any comments, whatever, you know, let's chime in, you know. Whatever you want to say pertaining to the lesson. Ecclesiastes 3:16. Right? And moreover, I saw under the sun the place of judgment. See that? The place of judgment is under the sun. What's under the sun? The earth. You know what I mean? You don't gotta go nowhere, man. You know what I'm saying? You realize that, you know what I'm saying, where hell is, and that is on the earth, right? And that's just the whole trick of the Christian church, man. Making us think and believe that it's some place to where we go, man. You know what I mean? And you know, and sometimes when you're not aware of something, it's hard to prepare yourself more or less than when you are aware of something. You know what I mean? And that was definitely, you know, the purpose of, you know what I'm saying, this lesson tonight, man, which I know all of you all already know. You know what I'm saying? What's going on in our condition. You know what I mean? True indeed. Okay. Okay. We got Revelations 18, verse 1 to cap off the hell scriptures. You know, then we're gonna do a few heaven scriptures. Spin it off. See how much time we got left. Okay. Revelations, man, chapter 18, verse 1. And after these things, I saw another angel come down from heaven, right? Having great power. And the earth was lightened with his glory, right? This angel coming down, man. And see now, and remember that coming down, you know, out of heaven, right? Verse 2, and he cried mightily with a strong voice, saying, Babylon, the great is fallen, and is become the habitation of devils, right? And the whole of every foul spirit here, man, habitation of devils, and the cage of every unclean and hateful bird, right? You know what I mean? Everything wicked is here in Babylon. You know what I mean? For all nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath of her fornication. All these other nations, man, have partake of her, right? And the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her. All of these other presidents, things of that nature, man, have, you know what I mean, got in bed with America, man. And the merchants of the earth are waxed, you know what I mean, rich through the abundance of her delicacies. A lot of these other nations, man, they have things because of America, right? You know what I mean? And I heard another voice from heaven saying, come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins, and that ye receive not of her plagues, right? So, you know, we got to come out of this hell, man. You know what I mean? As far as the, you know, falling into what this place is doing, you know, committing sins, breaking the law, and things of that nature, man. We can't allow ourselves, because we're going to be partakers of the plagues of this place. You know what I mean? You know, the destruction that's coming. We just had a winter storm. You know, we just had a winter storm. You can see the World War III kind of brewing up. America sending warships to Iran, so-called, quote unquote, because of the protests. He just went into Venezuela. You got the Russians in Ukraine. You know, you got China, you know, Taiwan. I heard the general over there in China was supposed to have leaked some secrets from China to us. You know, I don't know how true that is, but that's some info, man, some information that I've, you know, I mean, I looked at, you know, earlier today. So you can see a lot of things ramping up, you know, in the earth, right? A lot of things ramping up in the earth, man. You know, it's in America, is falling. America getting scared. You know, the gold went up. I know you seen that on Black watch last night. Highs has ever been. You know what I mean? Because a lot of nations starting out to really trust in that petrodollar no more. So America pulling out all stocks, man. Anything that look weak, man, they going at it. You know what I mean? They starting to get worried. You know, this country is not what it used to be, and it's trying to hold on to a facade. You know, and things may really get even worse here. You know, so we got to trust in the Most High, man, during that time. You know, I mean, right now, you know, because things are not going to get no better here. You know, they only going to get worse, man. You know what I mean? A lot of people still haven't woke up. They still thinking they in the American dream and this and that, you know what I mean? And still doing the things that they doing, you know, not coming up out of her, still partaking in this American society. And that's for they will be partakers of her plagues. You know what I mean? You know, they're gonna be partakers of her plagues, man. You know what I mean? So it's like, all we can do, you know what I mean, is just try to hold on, and keep our hopes up and things of that nature, in this place, you know what I mean? Um, and we're gonna get a little bit into some of that hope, right? Um, in these times. But the thing of it is you got to really be aware of your your reality, you know, your reality. Let's break down heaven a little bit. Let's break down heaven. See what this about. Matthew 6 and 10. Matthew 6 and 10, man. Matthew chapter 6, verse 10. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven. So once again, heaven is not going to be this place that we go to, man, like the Christian church have taught us. You know, a bunch of naked white angels running around. We laying on some cloud all day, just sitting there, you know what I mean? No activity, and whatever it was you learned in church, man. The kingdom is going to be on earth. You know what I'm saying? The kingdom is going to be on earth, right? And that's why we pray that prayer, thy kingdom come, thy will be done, in earth as it is in heaven. So the same way things are operating in heaven, and that's also the separation in the trick of Christianity, making us to believe that we gonna be up there, with the Most High, you know what I mean, and what we call in here the fourth dimension. No, heaven is gonna be on earth. You know what I'm saying? The rulership that we'll have, ruling the other nations, the power that we'll have, the resources that we'll have. You understand? The things that we dealing with now, we won't be dealing with those things. You know what I mean? No wickedness here, man. No bunch of unalive diseases and sicknesses and all of these different things. You know what I mean? That's why we fighting so hard now, because we're trying to do what? We're trying to get to a better estate, a better place, right? So Revelations 5 and 10. Revelations 5, chapter 5, verse 10. Right? And has made us unto our God kings and priests. We will be kings and priests, man, in this new kingdom, right? We're going to be the rulers. We're going to be the ones in charge, which we should have been from the start, right? And we shall reign on the earth. See that? And we shall reign on the earth. Once again, man, it's talking about the condition now that we'll be in. You know what I mean? But all of it is going to be taking place under the sun. Once again, what's under the sun? The earth. Okay? Revelations chapter 2. Let's go to Revelations chapter 2, man. Verse 25. Revelations 2, verse 25. Yeah, but that which ye have already hold fast till I come. Hold fast, man. Meaning stand strong. Hold fast on the which you've already had. This Yahweh Shai speaking, by the way, right? Hold fast on what you got. Hold what you got. See what I'm saying? Don't go off. You know, don't let your condition cause you to go off, break you, right? And he, verse 26, and he that overcometh, right? See that? He that overcometh. You got to be one that overcome that condition, man. And we still got a lot of fighting to do. And keep of my works until the end, right? Keep them works to the end. You know what I mean? And why is he saying this? See, the Christians, they also tell you what? Oh, I'm saved. I'm saved by the Holy Ghost, the Holy Spirit, whatever. You ain't saved yet. You ain't saved at all. Matter of fact.
Right.
You know? The Christian church are how you already believe in you saved. And you still doing all hell on earth. Right? Couldn't be further from the truth. So we just here to bring the truth out today, man. Let brothers and sisters, you know what I'm saying, know what time it is, man. You know, because like I said, a lot of times, man, if you know what's going on in war, then you can better prepare for the war. You know, if you don't know what's going on, then how are you going to prepare? You know, things will take you, you know, by shock. It'll have you, you know, take you by surprise. You'll be ambushed. Right? But we're not going to be ambushed in here. We're going to know exactly what's going on, right? Right? And Christ saying this for a reason. He telling you, and he that overcometh. I mean, why would he say that? Because he know that it's going to be, you know, something that you got to really, you know, you got to do this thing and keep with my works until the end. He know it's going to be hard. So you got to keep them to the end, not just for 5 years, for 10 years, to the end. To him will I give power over the nations. That man will have power over the nation, over the race. You sisters gonna be all right too. It's that man that's gonna be in rulership, right?
That's right.
And verse 27, and he shall rule them with a rod of iron. We're gonna rule them with a rod of iron, man. You know what I mean? They rule us real rough and tough, you know. We're going to have to rule them with a rod of iron. You know what I mean? To keep them damn heathens in their place. To stop all this evil, man, from spreading on the earth again. Right? As the vessels of a potter shall they be broken to shivers. You know what I mean? We're going to break these other nations, man. Even as I received my Father, right? Yeah. We're going to be the new rulers, though. And Christ's going to be ruling us, man. You know what I'm saying? Here on earth, okay? Revelations 21, you know, Christians talking about, you know, heaven in the damn sky and all this and that. Christian talking about heaven in the sky, right? Right? Revelations 21:2, and now John saw the holy city, New Jerusalem, coming down. Hold on. Let's go to verse 1. Salakia. Revelation 21, chapter 21, verse 1. And I saw a new heaven and a new earth. You know what I'm saying? He saw a new heaven, man. You know what I'm saying? And a new earth. You know? A new ruling government, new rulership. You know what I'm saying? And a new earth, for the first heaven and the first earth were passed away. This government now, this rulership now, and this earth, the way it is right now, is going to be gone. It's going to pass away. And there was no more sea. And keep in mind, man, this is John, the Revelator, man. He's seeing these visions. And realize he was on Patmos Island in hell, man. You feel me? And you know what gave him hope? The Lord showed him these revelations on that island. He showed him what would happen at the end. And that gave John hope. You know what I mean? Verse 2, and now John saw the holy city, right? He saw it. He saw the new holy city already there. He saw where we trying to get to. See what I'm saying? He seen the rulership. He seen us in charge, right? New Jerusalem, he called it, coming down from God out of heaven. You know what I mean? This thing coming down from God out of heaven. That will be done, you know what I'm saying, on earth as it is in heaven, and let you know we're not going to be necessarily up there with the Most High in the fourth dimension, right? Prepared as a bride adorned for her husband, right? Verse 3, and I heard a great voice out of heaven saying, behold, the tabernacle of God is with men. The presence of the Most High is going to be with us, man. And he will dwell with them. And they shall be his people. And God himself shall be with them and be their God. You understand? He's going to be our God. He's going to be with us. We're going to be his people, man. Yahweh Shai going to be reigning. But the Most High himself will still be in the fourth dimension. See what I'm saying? And we're going to explain that too at the end. Verse 4, and God shall wipe away all tears from their eyes. Right in this place, right? The Lord going to wipe away all the tears from our eyes, man. You know what I mean? Ain't going to be no lot of crying no more because of the things that we're going through, because we done lost Uncle Joe, or lost one of your sons, or, you know, brutally. You know what I mean? Or, you know, we sick in our body. You know what I mean? Or all the different things that we're going through. You know what I mean? You know, and there shall be no more death. Like I say, no more sudden death like it is now. All the unalive and the killing, man, and the destruction and the despair that we in as a people. You understand? You know what I mean? The overdoses and all of these different things, man, destruction and death, the way we looking out here, man, you know, the physical condition and how we looking because of all the drug use, and just as a nation, how we are, man, it ain't going to be none of that, right? Neither sorrow, no more sorrow, right? Nor crying. No more, you ain't gonna have to cry like that no more, because we're gonna have the things that we need, man. You know what I mean? Neither shall there be any more pain. You understand? No more pain, right? This gonna be happening on this new earth, right? It say, for the former things are passed away. That former way. We living in that right now, where it is pain, where it is crying, where it is sorrows. Why? Because we living in hell. You know what I'm saying? You know, got the brother also Shemai, you know, checking in, Yahweh Shem Rakatha, okay, from Midlothian, Virginia, you know. And that's how I hope that's what should keep a lot of us going, you understand, and enduring to the end, because, you know, we got a hope. Like I said, a brother or sister in the world don't got no hope in this hell, man. You know what I mean? You know? So let's see what else going on. Verse 5. Yeah, we could drop that and go to Isaiah 60:1. Isaiah 60:1, man. You know what I mean? You got to keep fighting, keep persevering, man. You got somewhere to be. Got you a plane ticket on that chariot waiting on you, man. You know? Shall I say a chariot ticket? You waiting to be beamed up. I just ran across this scripture right here, man. Nobody got to go to it. You can write it down in your notes. Isaiah 40 and verse 31. But they that wait upon the Most High shall renew their strength. Right?
That's right.
You wait upon the Most High, man. You know, in this hell, he's gonna renew your strength. He's gonna give you the strength to keep going. You know what I mean? You take a licking and you keep on ticking. That's how this thing goes. You know what I mean? You may not get through everything as successful as you would like. You know what I mean? But the fact that you still held on and you fought and you ain't leave the truth and you stayed and you kept persevering, you know what I mean, is what counts. Also remember, man, said righteous man may fall 7 times, but a wicked man, he fall in the mischief because he couldn't hack it. So he'll lead the truth, right? and just go straight into straight evil. You know, you might got some brother, man, mother might have died. I mean, you got some brothers, man, that deal with some things here in this truth, man. And you know, that's of course a terrible loss.
Right.
That can break a man. The loss of a child can break a man. You can lose your children in a lot of different ways. It ain't gotta just be so much physically. You know what I mean?
Right.
And you know, like being unalive, you know. That can break a man. Or a sister. You know what I'm saying? Officer Yagada got a scripture of Philippians chapter 4, verse 11. Not that I speak in respect of one. Right? Right. Oh, exactly. You know what I'm saying? Give him a hand for that. You know what I mean? For I have learned. Right. This thing got to be learned. You know, this is something that we got, because in the world we didn't know how to cope through things like this. And whatsoever state I am, whatever state that you in, whatever going on in life, you know what I mean, in this hell, right? They're with to be content. You know what I'm saying? Right. And you got to learn how to be content, man. You know what I mean? Because if you're not living here, you know, you could veer off. You know what I'm saying? You could veer off. Right? They shall mount up with wings as eagles, right? They shall run and not be weary, and they shall walk and not faint. And that's how we should be up in here, man. We walking, we mounting up strength, running like eagles. You know what I'm saying? Not getting weary, not getting tired. You know, and people probably that's wondering how you stay able to keep yourself up, keep that zeal. Meanwhile, they got their head hanging low. You know what I mean? And things of that nature. You done learn, like Officer Yagada said, to be content and things of that nature. You know what I mean? In this place. These are things that we got to do in order to hold on. You know what I mean? Amongst other things. You know what I'm saying? Whether it be counsel or prayer or, you know, whatever, you know, just being around, you know, other brothers, sisters. You know what I'm saying? To get to the end.
That's right.
Okay? And we are running close to the end. I want to read these scriptures, man, while I ain't got enough time, because I'm going to go back to some more scriptures. I done poured out too many scriptures, 20 damn scriptures. But hey, you can use them. And it's just helping me to bring out my lesson, man. You know what I'm saying? The Most High lesson. Ecclesiastes, because I'm in the Apocrypha now, you know what I mean? Verse, because he was some powerful scriptures in here, man. Ecclesiastes chapter 11, verse 11. Check this out. It say there is one that laboreth, right? One that works, right? And there's that brother working, you know what I'm saying? We laboring in here in this truth. We working, right? And take of pains. Why this brother working? He taking pains. You know what I mean? A lot of us is going through pains. It didn't say pain. It had an S on it. You know what I mean? We going through different things as, you know what I mean? We trying to do this work. Different things going on in brother lives. Why are they trying to teach, go to camp, slave, take care of their family, provide, you know. It's different pains. You know, let's be real about it. You know, ailments, physical ailments, all different types of things that brothers and sisters is dealing with, right? But check this out. And make of haste. See, this brother made haste. Anybody know what that means? Brother went through them pains and made haste. And yeah, we can precept this. Anybody got a precept for this? Ecclesiastes chapter 11, verse 11. There's one that laboreth and taketh pains. This is a brother, sister, going through it and hearing the truth, dealing with some things. You know what I mean? Family issues, personal issues, right? And as a result, the scripture says, and maketh haste. Right? Meaning, this brother doesn't allow the things that he going through in his hell, man, to get to him, right? And it's so much the more behind, right? And he think by making haste, it's gonna make the situation better. Because sometimes Satan will trick us into, believing that. Oh, saying they say the grass green on the other side. But see, you don't realize, man, it's gonna put you more behind. You're gonna lose the kingdom. You know what I mean? And you're gonna go get sucked back in out there in that world, man. It's gonna put you behind in this truth where you could have been in here growing, you know what I mean, and moving forward, and things of that nature. You thinking that making haste is the thing to do, but it's gonna put you more behind. Okay? Than you already was than when you first got in here. Or wherever you may be currently at when you leave. You understand? Verse 12. Again, there's another that is slow. This brother a little slow, right? Not as fast or sharp as the next individual, the next brother or sister, right? And have need of help. This brother or sister have need of help, right? Check this out. Wanting ability, don't have a lot of skill. You know what I mean? And full of poverty. Brother Dirt Broke say he full of poverty. That's a broke brother or sister there. Full of it, right? Yet the eye of the Lord looked upon him for good. Right? The Lord looking upon this brother that in the world nobody is paying attention to. He slow in his abilities and he ain't the sharpest knife in the drawer. He ain't excelling like others. He full of poverty, no car. You know what I mean? No money for real. You know what I'm saying? Same goddamn clothes every day. Haste means to hurry. Right. Yeah. Hurry up out the truth. That's what it means to make haste. Now, is also a precept for that one too, that we read all the time. We read all the time, man. It's a precept. We read this precept all the time. Right? And it say, yet the eye of the Lord look upon him for good and set him up from his lower state. See that? The Lord can bring you up from that lower state, from that hell. You know what I mean? See what I'm saying? Why are you trying to make haste and think that, you're going to hurry up and do something else, get anxious, get quick to leave the truth, right? To do some other things. You understand? Right. Because you lost your patience. Whatever the pains you was going through, it broke you. Right? Verse 14. And lifted up, 13, Slack, and lifted up his head from misery. The Lord can lift your head up from misery, man. You don't got to try to lift your own head up. He can do it if he wants to. So that many that saw it marveled at him. The Lord would take a brother, man, and from a lower state, man. You know what I'm saying? The same way he did Lazarus. You know what I mean? And the rich man brought him up. He can bring you up from that misery, from that lower state, just to have people to marvel at you, because a lot of people that's, damn, how she get there? How he get up like that? You know what I mean? The Lord can do that. Keep that in mind. Verse 14, prosperity and adversity, right? Prosperity and adversity. Okay, life and death, whether you're living or you die. Poverty and riches, whether you're broke or whether you got it, come of the Lord. All of these things come of the Lord, man. Riches, you know what I'm saying? Adversity, poverty, prosperity. These things are of the Lord. The same way in verse 15, wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of the law are of the Lord. You know what I mean? Us understanding the wisdom, knowledge, all of these things come of the Lord, right? Love and the way of good works are from him. You want to learn how to do good works? Come on, get into this truth, man. Get taught. You want wisdom, knowledge, understand? Come on in here, man, and he'll show you good works. He'll show you how to live. He'll show you how to get off drugs. He'll show you how to get your life together. He'll show you how to get your finances together. You understand? He'll show you how to cope and deal with the hell that we're living in. This will become your compass, you understand? to getting through life. Because remember, once we before we came in, things may still be a little rough for a lot of us, but before we came in, you understand? Just remember the condition that you was in. And it will be the condition that you're going back to times 10. You understand? Now, let's keep going. Da 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 da. Right, let's read verse 17 real quick. Same chapter. Chapter 11. The gift of the Lord remaineth with the godly. The gift, what's the gift? You know, eternal life, right? And his favor bringeth prosperity for others. See, the Lord bring you prosperity for others. Long as you in here, just know, yeah, right now it might not look like nothing, right? But long as you stay in here, you are already pretty much set up for the kingdom. You know what I mean? You pretty much set up no matter what your condition is. Like the scripture said, you know what I'm saying? And what so of a state I am, right? Whatever state you in, just know that, you know what I mean, you content. Why would you be content? Because you know you with the Lord and you got eternal life. Right? And you know whatever it is, the Lord gonna bring you through, right? Okay. Verse 20. Skip down to verse 20. It says, be steadfast in thy covenant. Stand strong in the covenant, man. No, stand strong in this truth, man. You know what I mean? And be conversant therein. You know, let your conversation be, you know what I'm saying, of this truth. Be active in conversing, you know what I mean, with your brothers, your sisters. You know what I'm saying? Right? And wax old in thy work. Wax old. Get old up in this thing, man. Be able to say you got 20 years in the truth, 30 years in the truth. You know what I mean? Like Commander General Yohana and the generals and the captains. You know what I'm saying? Be able to say you put some time, wax old in your work, you know? Go on ahead and pack your bags, man. Pack your bags, right? And tell yourself I'm in for the long haul. Go on ahead and pack your bags and say I'm in here. Right? I ain't going nowhere. You got you a one-way ticket out the world. And a one-way ticket upon them chariots. Okay? Just keep going. Verse 21. Marvel not at the works of sinners. Don't worry about what the sinners look like they do. They ain't doing nothing really. A lot of it is a facade any damn way. And a trick of the mind from Satan to make you believe and think, you know what I mean, something else, right? But trust in the Lord. Keep your trust in the Most High, man. And abide in thy labor. Abide in what you're doing. Abide in this truth. Stay in this truth. For it is an easy thing in the spirit of the Lord on the sudden to make a poor man rich. The Lord said, man, he can suddenly, man, make you rich. He can suddenly change your situation. That's why he say, trust in me. You ain't got to look towards the world or a sinner or nothing like that. You just keep your trust in the Lord, right? Verse 22. The blessings of the Lord is in the reward of the godly. You want a blessing from the Most High, man? Continue to be godly, right? And patient. And suddenly he maketh his blessing to flip. He will suddenly make that. That means in the blink of an eye. You don't know what can happen for you if you stay in here. Right? Verse 25. Let's go to verse 25. In the day of prosperity, there is a forgetfulness of affliction. The Lord will make you forget that affliction when things get to going good for you up in here. You understand? And in the day of affliction, when you in that affliction, there's no more remembrance of prosperity. You can't think of the good times no more. Only thing on your mind is that affliction, that hell you in. Your body and your soul in here. Right here on earth. Right? Yeah, I just wanted to get a chance to go there right fast, man. You know what I'm saying? You know. wanted to get a chance to go there right fast, man, and break that down. You know what I'm saying? That's right, Most High in Christ. You know what I'm saying? Well, how the sauce indeed. You know, the Lord, man, can you say the Lord can make a man rich overnight if he choose? You know, I mean, he can do that, but you got to believe that as well. You know what I mean? Why would he do it and you don't believe it? You know, and not just so much rich in money, but, you know, rich in wisdom. You know, which is a beautiful thing as well. Solomon, he asked for riches so that he can rule. Salaki, he asked for wisdom so that he can rule, you know, the nation of Israel. He was just a young man. And the Lord felt it was a commendable thing. And because he asked for wisdom and not riches and fame and all of that, the Lord went ahead and gave him everything. He became the richest man ever lived, you know. I mean, damn sure was famous, you know what I mean, all over the world. They were coming all over to seek his knowledge and his wisdom and things of that nature, you know. You know. And a lot of times, man, if something not happening for us, man, it's like sometimes, man, it's like you gotta kind of like the same way we can do enough to provoke the Lord to anger. You know, maybe sometimes we gotta provoke the Lord to blessing us. Doing so much, you know what I mean, to get his attention, you know, by fasting and, you know, doing more classes, you know, doing more work, you know, that's right. Provoking them, you know, making sure, you know, you're keeping the law. Anything that ain't right, you know, you're tightening up on it. You're tightening screws. Working on that anger, working on that lust, working on, you know what I'm saying, whatever it is. You know, accountability, responsibility, you know what I mean? All of these different things. Paying your tithes, you know what I'm saying? Whatever. To provoke him to bless you. Right? Right. Exactly, Rich. That's right. Most High Christ. You know what I mean? You know? So, yeah, man. You know what I'm saying? And let's go back to our heaven thing. Man, that. And you know, them Christians like to believe heaven gonna be, you know what I'm saying? I think we was going to Isaiah 60 and 1, right? Yeah, Isaiah 60 and 1. Isaiah 60 and 1. Yeah, them Christians, man. And this is, you know, like you say, ain't gonna be no more wiping, you know, your tears and sorrow and all these different type of things, man. You know, we going, you know what I'm saying? We fighting to get the rulership, man. You know, for the gods to change, for things to switch up, you know. You know. So you got to endure for a time, right? This was going to be going on in heaven. Isaiah 60 and 11. Therefore, Isaiah chapter 60, verse 11. You know, therefore, thy gates shall be open continually. Our gates going to be open, man. They should not be shut day nor night. You know, the gates, you know what I'm saying? When we in the kingdom, man, we going to have the junk open, right? You know what I mean? They're going to be bringing things in. That's right. You know what I'm saying? That men may bring unto thee the forces of the Gentile. All of these things that these Gentiles stole anyway, we gonna get it all. You know what I mean? They military might, they money, their gold. We gonna get all the hold of the oil and the resources again, the things of that nature. Anything they got or they took from us anyway, you know what I mean? They gonna be bringing it to us, man. And that their kings may be brought. They also gonna be bringing us these rulers, man. These so-called rulers, man, bringing us Donald Trump and Xi Jinping and Vladimir Putin and Zelensky and all of these leaders, man. You know what I'm saying? You know, that guy in Iran and you know, NATO. Yeah, they're gonna be coming bowing down to blacks, Hispanics, and Native American Indians. You understand? Verse 12, for the nation and kingdom that will not serve thee shall perish. Any of these nations don't want to serve us, man. They don't want to get down and do what we tell them to do. They're going to die.
That's right.
That's what's going to be going on up in the kingdom. That's what you fighting for every day. That's what's keeping your head above water every day, knowing this. You know what I mean? Yea, those nations shall be utterly wasted. Them other races, man, yeah, they're gonna be wasted. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, Shemagabah damn right. You know what I'm saying? Atwa Friday can't wait. Hey, me neither. You know what I'm saying? Me neither. You know, Kwum Yashala. That's right. Rise Israel doing that time. You know what I'm saying? Yep. Just a matter of time. Just a matter of time, man. You know what I mean? We on our way. You know what I mean? We on our way. I hope everybody bought their ticket, man. Like they tell you about the Passover, you got your ticket. You know what I'm saying? This at this time, we're gonna be handing Passover in the kingdom. You know what I mean?
That's right.
Probably gonna be some fine. Well, not probably there's gonna be some wine we ain't never had. You know what I mean? You know, having a wonderful time. You know.
Hey, Salaki, if I may, that's heavy that you say that because
right
at this very moment, I think it's in the book of Revelations where it says that Yahweh Shai Mashiach, Jesus Christ, has yet to take a drink of wine until he sits with his brothers.
Right.
So right as we speak, Jesus Christ is waiting to take a drink right now.
Right.
He has not drunk any wine, no kabassier, until the kingdom is here. May that be some motivation for some of you brothers and sisters out there that can't stop drinking.
Right.
You understand? He has yet to take a drink. Maybe you should stop drinking for the kingdom's sake. Maybe you should stop being an alcoholic just for the ones you see every day. You know what I'm saying? So it's like it, but that's an excellent point. You're absolutely right.
Right. Get a piece of hand, man. You know what I'm saying? You know, yeah, and definitely that alcohol can definitely be a detriment. You know what I mean? To some of us if you can't handle it. You know what I mean? So yeah, and the fact that he did that, man, he said he didn't want to drink no more till he got back in the kingdom. You know what I mean? With his brothers and his sisters, and he didn't want to take a drink no more till he got with them. You know what I mean? So yeah, and the glory of Lebanon shall come unto thee, the fir tree, the pine tree, the glory of Lebanon, the fir tree, the pine tree, and the box together to beautify the place of my sanctuary, right? And I will make the place of my feet glorious. You know, it's going to be a beautiful place, man. You know, with all the valuable, these are valuable trees and things of that nature. So, you know, the kingdom going to be built up. You know what I mean? It's going to look real nice. And the Lord said, and I will make the place of my feet glorious, right? The Most High, right? Because, you know, the earth is his footstool. You understand? The earth is his footstool. Which again, it debunks that whole thing of the brother Sayala checking in, man. Shalom, Lord of Christ. Y'all about to show me checking in from Richmond, Virginia. All right, it's wild to see you. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So you know, back to what I was saying. Yeah, so the kingdom gonna be built up, man. You know, it's gonna be built up. You know, we're gonna be taking back a whole lot of the natural resources and things of that nature. All of it, getting all the spoils and things of that nature from the other races and kingdoms. You know what I mean? To enrich ourselves, you know. And they're gonna be coming bowing down. All the other rulers of these other kingdoms gonna have to submit to us as well, right? Verse 14: the sons also of them that afflicted thee shall come bending unto thee. You know what I mean? The sons also of them that afflicted thee shall come bending unto thee. All the ones, man, the ICE agents and Donald Trump children, and everybody that did anything to the Israelites, man. You know what I mean? They're gonna become bending their knees, man. You know what I mean? They're gonna be bowing down before us, and all they that despise thee, all everybody that hated us, these other nations, man, you know what I mean, how they came together in a crafty council against us, right, shall bow themselves down at the soles of thy feet, and that's why we be getting them, a lot of them, Edomites and whoever of another nation to come and bow down at our feet and lick the dust up off the ground and, kiss our feet out there at camp. And they should call thee the city of the Most High, right? The Zion of the Holy One of Israel. You know what I mean? We're going to get our name back, our reputation back in that day. We won't be no longer called crackhead or dopehead or nigger or any of these other derogatory spics and all of these things they've been calling us, man, for so long of a time, you know? These things won't happen no more, you know? We're going to get our name back. We're going to get our reputation back. We're going to get our honor back. We're going to become beautified men and women, you know what I'm saying, of the Most High, and put back in our rightful position as we should have been. We get our dignity back, man. We won't be in the lower states, you know what I'm saying, as we are here now in hell. It won't be like that in that day, man. It's going to flip-flop. They're going to be like that, bowing down the West. So this is what we fight for. You understand? This is what we keep pushing for. You know what I mean? You know? Okay. Right. Verse 15. Whereas thou hast been forsaken and hated. We've been forsaken. You know what I mean? Throw to the side. You know what I mean? We don't really got no help. Our leaders done forsake us. You know what I'm saying? And we've been hated in this place, man.
Right.
Any atrocity that you can think of has been done to blacks, Hispanics, Native Americans, you know, up until this day, man. ICE agents right now, man, running down, man, creating hell, man, for the Hispanics, Latino brothers, and most of them are just hardworking people, man. This thing Donald Trump doing with this militia, man, with this playbook from Germany, Hitler. You know, let's look at the times we living in now, man. These things that's being done now, man. It's going down over there in Minnesota, man. You've been told not to even go through there right now. It's happening right in the United States. You got Native American Indian brothers and sisters out there on the reservations, man, on ice and fentanyl and alcohol, right? You already know we out the hood in the projects, underlapping each other, gang banging, you know what I mean? Knocking off each other, women and things of that nature, getting high. You damn rap artists, you know, look at Finesse 2 Times. You know what I mean? That brother done lost it, ain't he? Blueface.
Right.
You know what I mean? Look at that so-called dignified people in the society. Right? They ain't worried about nobody out the hood no more, even though all of them come from poverty. Why? Because they done got it and they've arrived to a point. You know what they're going to tell you? Hey, if I did it, you can too. Just said the Lord make rich and make poor. You ain't there because you was so different from anybody else. For real. It's just the Most High allowed for you to be there. But of course, they get themselves the credit, you know what I mean, for the fame and the riches and things of that nature. And that's why they're going to be brought low, you know, and that's why they got to enjoy they heaven now. Right? You know, our time coming, man. You know what I'm saying? Keep fighting, you know what I mean? You know, keep fighting. So that no man went through thee, I will make thee an eternal excellence, a joy of many generations, right? Say he's going to make you an eternal excellence. You know what I mean? A joy of many nations, right? This is going to be going on in the kingdom on earth, right? Now let's go to Revelations 4 and do the distinction. You know what I'm saying? Here we'll find a distinction, and we're going to close with this. Here we're going to find a distinction between how the Christians may say that heaven is, you know, this place in the sky and this and that, right? And we're going to let them know that heaven is right here on earth, man. You know what I mean? Revelations chapter 4. Revelations chapter 4. I'm going to speed through this, man. After this, I looked, and behold, a door was opened in heaven. John the Revelator once again seeing a vision. And the first voice which I heard was as it were of a trumpet talking with me, right? Deep voice, which said, come up hither, and I will show thee things which must be hereafter. We'll show you some things which must be. He was showing him a vision. He was showing John, you know what I'm saying, the future. Verse 2, and immediately I was in the spirit, right? He was in his vision. And behold, a throne was set in heaven, and one sat on the throne. Now, this heaven that they're talking about, and one sitting on that throne is in the fourth dimension. This is separate from the heaven that we talking about, being on earth. Okay. Verse 3. And he that sat was to look upon like a jasper and a sardine stone, very beautiful and bright. And there was a rainbow round about the throne. Now they try to make this rainbow thing out to be some gay or nothing like that. But no, this just was the glory and the, of the Most High. And sight like unto an emerald. The rainbow is a holy thing. It's not an evil gay thing. But of course, Esau done turned it into that, right? And round about the throne were 24 seats. You got 24 seats right up there in that throne, right? And upon the seats, I saw 24 elders sitting. It was 24 elders sitting, right? Up there in heaven. And you had the Most High sitting on the throne. And you had these 24 elders sitting before him, clothed in white raiment, right? And they had on their heads crowns of gold. These men had, these was men with prestige, with rank. They had crowns on their head, man. You know what I mean? And what else going on? You got 24 elders in the most. They holding a council in heaven. See what I'm saying? The Lord is right now in constant council. He's sitting in council about the things that's going on earth. He know the things going on with us, even as individuals. This the fourth dimension in heaven. Verse 5, and out of the throne proceeded lightnings and thunderings, just the power of them and the glory and voices. And there were 7 lamps of fire burning before the throne, right? Which are the 7 spirits of God, right? Verse 6, and before the throne there was a sea of glass like unto crystal. He describing what he seen, right? Before the throne. And in the midst of the throne and round about the throne, and with 4 beasts full of eyes before and behind each beast, man, standing God. That's why we'll have like a statue of a lion there, you know what I mean? Brother sitting up here, things of that nature, making the same thing. Everything we do is biblical, you know what I mean? And these beasts had eyes all in the front, horrible looking beasts, and eyes in the back. They on Shema, they watching and can see everything. You understand? Verse 7, and the first beast was like a lion. See, it's describing these beasts that's up there with the Most High. And the second beast like a calf, right? And the third beast had a face as a man. And the fourth beast was like a flying eagle. These were some hideous looking creatures up there in heaven with the Most High, man. That's right. You know what I mean? We like to have our little pit bulls and things of that nature. You know what I'm saying? But this was going on in heaven, right? Okay, verse 8. And the 4 beasts had each of them 6 wings about him. They describing these beasts that's before the Most High. And they were full of eyes within. Now, they had a lot of eyes. They can see everything. They were on Shemado. They get God. And they rest not day and night. They don't even sleep. Saying, holy, holy, Lord God Almighty, which was and is to come. All these beasts do, man. Just praise the Most High all day, man. You know what I'm saying? And verse 9. And when those beasts give glory and honor and thanks to him that sat on the throne, who liveth forever and ever. Verse 10, the 24 elders, right? They fall down before him that sat on the throne. These 24 elders also fall down before the Most High and worship him that liveth forever and ever, and cast their crowns before the throne. They take the crowns off their head, man. You know what I mean? If a man wearing a crown, man, you know what I'm saying, and bowing down, you understand? He himself have authority. But they throwing their crowns off their head to worship the Most High. You know what I mean? Thou art saying, verse 11, thou art worthy, O Lord, to receive glory and honor and power. For thou hast created all things, and for thy pleasure they are and were created. This is the fourth dimension that we're talking about here. You understand? We won't be there. The heaven that we'll be enjoying will be on earth. You know what I mean? Which debunks that whole Christian thing. We debunk the Christian about hell being, someplace under the ground, things of that nature. You know what I'm saying? We ready for the security announcements, man. It's the end of class. We'll read these announcements. We're going to get up out of here, and things of that nature. Okay. We are the ISUPK, started out of 1 West, Harlem, New York. Rule for new brother and sister. When a new brother or sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to share themselves with the world. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother and sister. You know what I'm saying? We definitely got a process in here, you know, the way we do things as far as, you know, dealing with brothers and sisters. There is another 6 months in which the brother and sister will court each other. After this 6 month period, I believe it's a year now, the brother and sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment, Numbers 18:21, Malachi 3:8-10, means 10th in the Hebrew, Ma'asherah, 10% of every penny of any increase the Most High gives you. Pay them tithes, man, to get that blessing. Give to Treasury Department or teacher. Priest fund, free will offering for priests. Not mandatory whatsoever amount you would like. Upcoming holy convocations, we believe we have, what is that, Purim?
Yes, March 2nd.
And we got the Passover, of course, coming up as well. Okay. And yeah, the water, everybody for coming out, man. You know what I'm saying? ISUPK side 125th Street, Harlem, New York. You know what I mean? Yahweh Bashman, rock a thought to the Akim, Yahweh Shema, the Thumb Bashman, Yahweh Shat to the Akwaki, man. Hey, Shalom.
It's that time of year. We're going to be in Houston, Texas from April 1st to April 5th, celebrating the Lord's 57th annual Passover under Commanding General Yohana. Jam-packed, full of events, line dancing, fishing, horseback riding, rides for the kids, bounce houses, and the annual lamb slaughter held at the BH Ranch. And it ain't no party like the all-black party, the annual all-black party. 14149 Player Street in Houston, Texas. You know it's gonna be lit. All leading up to Saturday, April 4th, the Lord's 57th annual Passover. You still got time. Go to ISUPK.com to pay your Passover fee. 18 and over, $200. You do not want to miss the Lord's 57th annual Passover. Houston, Texas. Shalom.